Sports Rewind Digital, we're live. Finally, Dave, I'll press the right button. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, pretty good.
It's only one button to press, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a couple of buttons here, but I tried doing a behind-the-scenes thing on TikTok once, but it didn't really work that well. Everyone just was like, oh, yeah, just push that button, Hudson. How hard is it?
Yeah. Well, from our end, it's quite easy. You just join in and away we go. Even though, yes, there are technical difficulties in the Hudson household tonight. So if you do if we see you freeze, hopefully you're not having a heart attack. It is just your internet.
Hopefully not, mate. Can you hear me all right now?
Yeah. And hopefully it's you frozen and not us. Must be the weather. Yep. And he's gone. Always good when the host leaves it. So Randall will hopefully maybe joining us. He's still making his way back from the kids training. So it should just be Hutto, or could just be Hutto and myself tonight, or at the moment you just got to put up with me. So bad luck to everyone. Hopefully Hutto sorts out his internet so we can jump back online. But should be a pretty quick show tonight. Just going to sort of talk a bit of baseball now that Major League Baseball has started. Probably some F1, NRL, Sheffield Shield possibly, and hopefully get out of here pretty quick. Well, it could be very quick if Hudson doesn't come back.
Hey!
And here he is.
You know what the best part about this is, Davo?
What's that, mate?
All that stuff I prepared earlier is now wiped out of the studio. So we're just going to talk absolute minutes. I had heaps planned too. It was one of my most prepared shows of the decade, and now I'm just going to have to wing it. So
that's what you get for preparing things, mate. You know, we are dribble, and it's just
unbelievable.
That's us. We dribble, and it's like you can't be prepared for anything. You've got to wing it.
Absolutely going to be winging it right now. I don't even think I can get our sponsor video up here. Let's see if I've got that. I do have that. I can load that up, but I was about to say it's probably going to jump straight into it now though because I'm loaded up. Mate, I was saying MLB has just kicked off. NRL, we got a bit of F1 news. What else is happening in the world? The golf. The Aussie won the golf. What was it?
Mingwu Lee. He got his first.
What's his name?
Yep, first tour win. South Australia won their first Sheffield Shield in about 30 years. So it was good to see the Redbacks win that. And that was a good game. It came down to the last day. Could have been anyone's. Queensland had the chance, but good to see the Redbacks get a win. Sausage Sanger led the way. Him and Carey did it for the Redbacks. So
good to see. Good to see. I didn't catch any of the Sheffield Shield, mate. I know big Billy Cox sent me a message and say, get on it. When I think it was opening day, I was watching all the baseball and he said, make sure you get on and watch the Sheffield Shield too. Hey, check out my shirt. Oh, Chippy Moyer, number 11.
Oh, yeah.
Got the, I don't know if you've
ever heard of her.
The back.
Oh, yep. Chippy. Oh, it's Scotty Moyer.
Did a merch run. Got to pick one up for the young bloke and the one for me. Yeah. MLB, mate. There's been plenty of games.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can share a screen without everything going to shit here. That's what happened last time I tried to share a screen and kaput. Here we go. Yankees are on top of their division, 3 wins, no losses. I've seen one game of the Yankees where they scored runs, I think it was, using some sort of mallet device there. Did you see that, mate?
Yeah, was it 20? It was a football score, 20-9 or something. So
yeah,
we'll touch on those bats later. But yeah, they've started pretty well. I think they're going to have to score runs this year. I don't know if their pitching will really back them up.
Yeah, the game that we're talking about, Nestor Cortez threw 3. Like he just come out and threw 3 slots, and they're just going bang, bang, bang. Pretty crazy. I guess them getting rid of Cortez and then going, we've justified that, haven't we? Straight away, first game. Yeah, that was pretty big. What else are we in their division there? So the Tampa Bay Rays, 3 wins, 1 loss. What was that?
Don't look down the bottom. Boston, 1-4.
1-4
doesn't really close games though.
I was going to say, it doesn't really represent the games they've played so far. Let's talk about it now. Devers, 0 from 19 with 15 strikeouts. It's pretty crazy, mate. I know we talked a little bit about him going in the DH role last week. I'm pretty sure we talked. I don't know if it was on air or off air. We talked about it. It's just a completely different mindset, isn't it? Being a DH when you haven't DH before and you switch from a role in a positional player to a DH, got to be a totally different mindset. I'm not saying I've done it myself, but I know you have. There's obviously different trains of thought as a hitter or as a fielding hitter.
It really is. And I think that's why you see normally older guys doing it, because they've been around the game, they've played the game, they've been fielders, but now sort of like they're losing a bit of speed, so they come into the DH. And it does, like when you're in the field, your mind's on the game the whole time. When you're DH, you're sitting in the dugout, you're pretty much just following along, and then all of a sudden, I've got to go have my at-bat, you sort of switch on. You need to be able to flick that switch. And I think that's why it's probably harder for someone like Devers, who's still quite young and just been used to fielding all the time, because you do see some of the older guys that are ready to transition into sort of like a managerial role, that you watch more of the game from the dugout. You're seeing what's going on from almost like a manager's point of view, where you're not part of it. You change that mindset and then flick that switch to go out there and sort of bat from there. But it can take a while.
Oh, absolutely. And it's going to take a while. Here's a question for you then, and for those in the audience, would you throw him in for a game at third base, get his head, maybe a little bit more back and then take him back out again? Or would you keep on rolling?
I'd keep on rolling. I think just throwing him in the field, I don't know whether it'd do more harm than good. Whether even just give him a day off. I know it's so early in the season. Just give him a day off to sort of try and sort of clear his mind. I think there's been a lot of factors with it, that the Red Sox didn't handle that whole situation that well when they signed Bregman. There's also talk that Devers' shoulder's not right, so that's affecting his swing. He hasn't come into camp fully in shape. So I'm hearing a lot of things, but maybe a day off. I don't know if in the field would help or actually make it worse. Would he take his struggles from the batter's box out into the field, where he's never been a great defender anyway?
Yeah, tough one. Tough one indeed. Maybe get him one of those torpedo bats from the Yankees. That might help. Who knows? But he hasn't looked like getting the ball. 15 strikeouts from his 19 at-bats.
No.
Hey, mate. How you doing, mate? F1 news coming up, mate. Stay around. We'll chat about the Japanese Grand Prix later. Bandy's in the chat. Fun fact for opening day week: the Phillies have only scored 2 runs of starters. They have feasted off the bullpens. That's an interesting one. That is a good little tidbit. I replayed the opening day one, mate, where they went 10. That was a pretty good game. I watched a good chunk of that, maybe 45, 50 minutes of that one. That was a pretty good win by the Phillies.
Sanchez pitched pretty well today, so I'm happy with that. That's my bet for NL Cy Young. So he got off to a good start.
I didn't see that one yet. I haven't got caught up on all of today's games, so that'll be a tonight job. I was too busy preparing for this before the internet crashed my world. Terrible, terrible indeed.
I think the final thing on Devers, it was shared around before that Tony Gwynn in the 1995 season had 15 strikeouts from 585 at bats. Devers has 15 strikeouts from 19 at bats.
Yeah, I mean, he could not go for the rest of the year and not strike out, Davo, but know.
Just again, shows what a freak Tony Gwynn was and how good with the bat he was.
We talk about it as well. It's totally different era now as well, isn't it? Where it's you're not out there to make contact. You're out there to hit the ball hard, hit the ball over the fence, that sort of thing.
Yep.
So, Gameception. Hey, guys. How are you, mate? Good to have you on. Thanks for tuning in. What do we got here? Chicago White Sox 2-2. Now, I surprised a fair few people opening day. I think they won 8-1, I think it was, on their opening day, and they're 2-2. Cleveland Guardians are 2-2. Royals are 2-2. Detroit Tigers 1-3. Twins are 0-4. Early days, I know, but good to see White Sox winning a few games.
And Tigers starting at LA is hard too.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
What a Dodgers 6-0 or something. So and the pitching staff they roll out every day. You don't get a day off. So
you don't get it. You're right. You don't get a day off. All right, AL West, the Angels on top, 3-1. Excuse me, Rangers 3-2. Astros 2-2. They lost the game today by the Giants 7-2. Athletics 2-3. Seattle Mariners 2-3. So the Mariners off to another slow start. Again, only the first week of baseball. Plenty of baseball left to go. I think might have made this comment 1 or 2 times. Only 160. I think I made 160 games ago when we were talking the other day, but plenty of baseball left in the season.
Also, nice touch today for the A's. They had their home opener. Every player wore number 24. Now, it would have been nice if they were in Oakland still, but even though they're in Sacramento, nice touch and a nod to Ricky Henderson, who passed away. So good to see them wear the 24, but didn't help them.
It was pretty cool to see. I'm trying to find this picture I've got. It must be on X, of a guy holding sign up saying I'd rather be at Oakland Coliseum. It's pretty cool.
That's saying a lot too.
It was a nice touch for Ricky Henderson. We talk about his record never getting broken. I still think 100% it won't. What do we got? NL East. The Phillies are 3-1. Marlins are 3-2. New York Mets 2-2. Washington 1-3. Atlanta Braves 0-5. When was the last time that you have seen the Braves off to a 0-5 start? I could not tell you when.
No, it probably would have been early 90s.
They start pretty hot usually, and they've got a decent team and decent rotation. So, see what happens there. early days. Hey, sorry, going back to your Red Sox. Bit of a contract extension today, mate, for one of your pitching staff. That was a pretty big deal. 6 years.
Sure.
6 years, 170 mil, I think it was.
170 million, yeah, Crochet.
Yep.
So pretty much a Chris Sale replacement.
Yep.
Hopefully we get a bit more out of Crochet than what we got out of Sale. Sale won all right, won us a title. So if Crochet can do the same thing, happy days.
Yep. Mate,
but good to lock him up for a few years. He's still only young. He's 26, I think, or something. So hopefully just really coming into his own.
I think it's a good deal. He's shown, was it last year or the year before? When was it that he won the... Anyway, he's you picked him up off the White Sox last year, end of last year. And yeah, good deal, I think. A lot of money. What I read something about it was the most amount of money over a 6-year deal for a pitcher since whoever it was 125. Was it Scherzer? Might have been Scherzer. Good deal. Let's have a look. What else have we got here? Put it onto the screen. St. Louis Cardinals. If you're on, mate, 3-1. They are red hot. Cincinnati Reds 2-2, Cubs 3-4, Pirates 1-4, and the Brewers 0-4. That's another one that I'm a bit shocked by. The Brewers being 0-4.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of their
Cardinals
games
leading?
Yeah. What about that?
Like I think no one expected that. But yeah, Brewers. I say it's a long season, but they'll come along. Like they've got a good roster. It's always tough the first week, but we say only 160 games to go. Really, you need to win the games now because at the end of the season, look at last year and the year before, it came down to game 162. So you might say, oh, it's a throwaway game now. Nah, not these days.
Absolutely not. Definitely not a throwaway game. You've got to win them. Well, not win them all, but you've got to win most of your games to get that wild card spot if you don't get the division. So plenty of teams already, you take the NL West, for instance, and I know as a Giants fan, you're looking to make the wild card spot because you're not going to compete with the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are 6-0, Padres are 5-0, Giants are 3-1, D-backs 2-2, and the Colorado Rockies 1-3. So you got to win as many games as you can, and those sort of one-run games are the ones that you want to win, not be on the other side.
Yep.
So,
but Padres have started well considering they spent no money during the off-season. They really didn't sign anyone. So they must have been happy with the roster they had because it pretty much is the same roster as last year.
Yeah, it is. See what they do. I mean, they finished off the year strong last year, so moving into 2025, I think they can keep it running. So, one thing that happened today, I think it was Kelly for the Cubs hit a cycle, first cycle of the year. What are we, 3 or 4 days into it? Hit a triple to finish it off. So that was pretty cool.
Always helps when the outfielder bangs up against the wall and the ball ricochets away. It's for a lot of people, it's the only way you're going to get a triple.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the torpedo bat while we're fresh in the baseball, mate. For those that haven't seen, I'll pull up an image now. I'm just trying to find it. I did have it all set out earlier, but lost it all with the whole communication thing. The internet. Here it comes now. Torpedo bat. So the Yankees have changed, I guess, the sweet spot on the bat. We were talking about it last week, or a couple of days ago, whenever it was. We were talking about it, and we're saying as long as the diameter isn't, whatever the measurement it is, as long as it doesn't go past that, it should be right. And it looks like that's what's going to be happening here. It has been passed. I don't know. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think. Well, it just takes the barrel of the bat further up the handle, doesn't it? So
yeah,
a larger sweet spot, because we always knew the sweet spot of the bat was that small section there. So if you can make that small section of, say, 2 inches, take that out to about 3 or 4 inches, it's going to help you. And if you cop it off the end, you're still going to break your bat, it's still going to go. So I know a lot of other teams are now starting to buy those bats. So it'll be interesting to see whether it is everyone, whether it's just the Yankees swinging the bat well. I think it's too early to say whether it's defining of being something fantastic, but it's another step that's really killing pitchers.
Yeah,
it's like the poor old pitch. It's like a bowler in cricket. The bats keep changing, the fields get smaller, but for a bowler or a pitcher, the ball stays the same. It's like what advantage has there been for a pitcher or a bowler over the last 5-10 years in either sport?
Not a lot. Not a lot. You can't even put sticky on your fingers anymore.
No.
Brutal.
But let's just see how it plays out. I know it's an in thing at the moment, but I think you need a bigger sort of subsection of sort of people using it and results of games before you can say, oh, it's the latest and greatest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Mate, I know I've got one out the back floating around. It looks like this.
Yep.
Ruben's been whacking everything with his like that. So if that's anything to go by, I'd probably have a run with it too.
It started with Bam Bam from the Flintstones. He was the first one, wasn't he?
He was.
Back to the Stone Age.
You did mention there were a few others using it, mate. I come across of a few different players using it across the board. So it is getting out there, and I guess it will. If people think that it's going to be a little bit of an advantage, why not use it? Yeah, I don't know. Let's while we're talking about bats, let's jump into our sponsor from RBI. See if this works. I've got the circle of death here.
Oh, we're a professional outfit.
So RBI have jumped on board and sponsored our podcast. If you do want to grab a bat, make sure you jump over to rbiaustralia.com.au. Special guest for tonight. We did have someone planned to come on. They are going to actually come on in a couple of weeks. We haven't got anyone special lined up now, just Randall coming in late. Hey, buddy.
Oh, God.
Hey, fellas.
Finally here,
man,
eh?
You haven't missed much.
Mate,
and it's been a great night. Good night, all.
I was watching on the car on the way home, mate, and James was replying, and he's going, they don't know who I am. I said, well, why not, mate? He said, I changed my name to Gameception. Like, what the hell does that mean?
That's who it is. You know what I thought? When I seen it, I seen, hey, guys. Straight away, I thought, this bloke's going to ask for a chicken wing for sure. I thought it was Marvin coming back for a
Starvin' Marvin.
Marvin.
I thought for sure. Yeah, here we go. And I lost all capabilities of doing anything earlier with the internet, mate. So I'm like, I'm not in the back end here, so I can't get ready to boot him. Then was like, mayhem's gonna happen. But yes. Now, what's training? What are you training for? Marathon or something?
Yeah, sure. Marathon. I'm watching other people train for a marathon. That'd be about it. No, mate, Hunter Coast Little League for State Cup coming up in a couple of weeks. So we're 2-3 times a week at the moment. So we'll see how that all goes in a couple of weeks. But yeah, busy at the moment with those kids.
Nice. Hey, Davo, do you ever play what was it, State Cup, Randall?
Yeah.
Do you ever play State Cup? Were you playing juniors baseball or?
Yeah, I played, like, we were always winter for junior baseball because I was playing cricket through summer, but no, there's nothing ever like that for us. I think closest I got was under 18s, which we went to nationals as a Central Coast side.
Yeah. Oh, right.
So we skipped all of that and just went to nationals as a Central Coast side.
Yeah, so that's still there. That's still the AYC for 16s and 18s. That still exists. So Country Carnival and national. Then you pick the countryside and go off to nationals and all that sort of stuff now. But yeah, this stuff, it's obviously the pathway for the Little League World Series.
Yeah.
So we'll go down and play against all those red hot Sydney teams.
Yeah.
As a Newcastle and Central Coast combined team. The top two teams from that tournament will go off to the national championship, and the winner of that goes off to the Little League World Series to represent Australia. So last year that was Hills. So we'll see how we fare against those guys. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's like it was never there when we were kids, so it's good that all sports now are really starting to develop the kids better to give them more opportunities.
Yep, 100% agree, mate. And so we're Little League Division 1, which is the older end of the age scale, that under 13s. Then there's a Division 2 for Little League, which are the younger kids. So they're just generally they're those kids that are going to move up to the next age group next year. And then you've got your junior league and junior league intermediate and senior league. So there's plenty there for all age groups. So it's good. I enjoy it. Well, it's tough for us. Just sheer volume of numbers. We've got two associations sending away a team, where you've got the likes of Ryde and Cronulla, and I think Cronulla last year had 4 teams or something. They could send away as representative teams, and Ryde's always got 2 teams in their divisions. Hills have got a couple of teams. Manly have always got 2 teams, and generally those teams, both their teams, give us a good run for our money. So
yeah,
we just want to go down a bit.
We had Pittwater Cup and the State Cup. I think it was sort of alternate years from memory. It was a long time ago, Randall. But
it's hard to remember.
It was always good fun. I thought it was whoever won the country championship sort of went to that State Cup or Pittwater Cup or whatever it was. I can't 100% remember.
So New South Wales country used to have an automatic entry into that nationals tournament. So if Newcastle won, we would have had automatic entry, which left only one other entry for the rest of New South Wales, which realistically that was one for Metro and one for country. I think when James was first year Little League, that was still in effect because Newcastle won the Country Carnival and they went away to nationals.
Gotcha.
But the next year that all changed, and unfortunately country clubs all had to go and play against the Metro clubs, which when you think about it, the top 4 or 5 Metro clubs are still better than the top country club at the moment. So
absolutely.
I still think it's probably it sucks for us being country. We don't get that automatic entry, but I think you got to send the 2 strongest teams, don't you? And if that means
absolutely do.
The country teams have to go and play against the Metro teams, and that's just how it is.
Yep.
Top 2 teams in the state go through. Shouldn't get a special entry because you're a regional team.
For sure. Mate, any restrictions on bats for the State Cup? Do we get
No torpedo bats?
Yeah,
unfortunately. Torpedo bats aren't allowed. No German-styled potato masher grenades are allowed to be used as bats either. And I think only the USA approved bats only, I believe.
Oh, that's fair, mate. That's fair. No, we'll talk about you missed out on that, and we're talking about Devers and basically been through the MLB. We'll move on to NRL, and I don't know. Did you watch much of the NRL on the weekend, Randall?
I did, mate. I didn't see anything on Friday night, but I think I saw all the other games.
What about you, Davo? Did you catch much of that?
A little bit. Like, I think just snippets of the games here or there. I might have been watching 5-10 minutes of each game. The important team won. Somehow we're on top, undefeated still. So even though I didn't back them,
mate.
They've had
2 points.
Good
Monday
run.
nights, are we? But yeah, Rabbitohs.
All right, we'll quickly read through it. Mate, go on. I've got all sorts of noise going on here with this internet.
Panthers they've just been terrible so far this year, haven't they?
Yeah, mate, they've really missed Cleary, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did you see the Moses Leota try that was given no try?
Yeah.
Where his hand was slammed the ball down and the ball spat out of the side of his hand, and they went to the bunker and said no try. He lost control. And I was like, are you guys kidding? Like, I know the score was a blowout in the end, but if that's a try, it's only a one converted try game. Come in that last 15 minutes or whatever, like
the score
could have been a completely different game.
It's there. It's clear. Everyone can see it. Forget the score. It's sort of like you're supposed to be the best of the best that's there, and you go and stuff that up.
Yeah, and it's the bunker. You've got 10 million angles or 10 million different angles to look at, and somehow you've given that a no try. I'm just looking at going, geez, like I don't understand. Brutal. But I think 2 weeks in a row, the Panthers have been really lethargic to start, and they've been smacked early, and both times they've come home with sort of a wet sail. They've really challenged at the back end of the game, but just too little, too late. They just lack a little bit of leadership, I think, around the middle of the field.
Yeah, I've seen a quality meme of Will Ferrell with Ivan Cleary's head, where he's in the chain sheds bashing up against the wall, up against the lockers, and 20-0 or 28-0 half time or whatever it was. It was pretty brutal. Let's have a quick look at the scores from last week, and we'll talk about upcoming games. Rabbitohs 28 over those Panthers 18. The Titans 30 over the Roosters 12. The Broncos 20 over the Dolphins 12. The Dragons played the Storm. You pick that one, fellas, for your tips?
Nope.
Me neither. Cowboys
Dragons
30 over the Raiders 20. Yeah, they did. Your Bulldogs, Davo, 20-6 winners over the Sharkies at Shark Stadium. So that was a pretty good one. Manly 26-12 over the Eels. The West Tigers down 24-26. And
that was a good game, actually.
Got 2 points.
I needed it.
Bloody back the Tigers too, mate. I thought at Campbelltown, even though the Warriors have been playing well, I thought Tigers have been playing well at Campbelltown. Surely they should get the points. No.
I took the Warriors in that.
Yeah.
Had no faith in your Tigers, mate. But that was actually a pretty good game. That was a real to and fro game, wasn't it? Like back and forth, try for try. So
it was really Warriors weather.
Yeah, definitely was.
They would have felt like it's a home game, like with the weather conditions that they had.
Yeah. Yeah, bucketing down. Let's move on to, what are we, round 5 for the footy this week?
Wow.
Where are we? Round 5. Raiders and the Sharks, the Thursday night game down in Canberra. The Panthers and the Cowboys at CommBank Stadium. The Rabbitohs and the Roosters at a Core Stadium. That should be a good game, I think, that one. The Eels and the Dragons on Saturday. Titans, Dolphins, the Broncos and the Tigers, the Seagulls and the Storm, and the Bulldogs versus the Knights on Sunday afternoon with the Warriors with the bye. Who's going to win the
game of the round?
Who's going to win it?
Bulldogs. Oh, the Knights.
Easy win for the Dogs.
All right,
how many players you missing, Davo? Just out of curiosity.
We're missing a few. No. Reid. Reid. He got off. He didn't even have to front the judiciary after his little effort.
What about Critter? Did he get off as well, or just get a fine?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard whether he got suspended, so I'd say it must have just been a fine because I would have heard something. But yeah, we'll take the points.
Is Burton still out? I hope so.
Let's have some score predictions, fellas. I know you blokes are both biased.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I think so too. I think your Knights are going to get done 36-20. Randall? Score predictions, Dover?
I think 22-10 Bulldogs.
Whew.
Yeah. I'm a 32-18 Bulldogs.
Oh, going against your own team. Jesus.
Hey, I'm realist. And that way I can't be disappointed. I either get it right or I win.
Hey, I backed Sharks last week over the Bulldogs. So even as a Bulldogs supporter, when it comes to footy tipping, there's money involved. I love them, but I didn't love them that much.
Knights have got too much work to do still, mate. I think they're a little bit.
They've been pretty red hot, the Bulldogs, from what I've seen.
Yep, they've been pretty good. So
yeah, very solid.
Caught a little bit on the news. There's 2 players on report late or something for high hits. What's the go with that? Didn't hear it. Seen something about wasn't picked up in the game, but they're on report or something now.
From match review committee or something.
Yeah,
I don't know, mate. I don't know, to be honest.
Fair enough. There's a fair bit of noise here, so I may have got it wrong.
Were they from the Dogs?
No.
Why don't you? Doesn't worry me.
I can't remember who it was, mate.
Yeah, haven't heard anything about
2 hours ago. But anyway, we'll find out. F1 fellas on this weekend in Japan. So the Japanese Grand Prix. I know you blokes aren't really that much into it, but Liam Lawson, after 2 drives in the Red Bull car, has been ousted. Pretty hard school, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's gone. Yuki Tsunoda for the Japanese Grand Prix has been slotted in. I really hope Liam Lawson his second Red Bull car and just absolutely smashes it and shows them that it was the car, not him. But Grand Prix on this weekend, Sunday, 3 o'clock our time. So good to see this end of the year. The F1 times are a bit favourable. Later on in the year, we move out to those 3 o'clock, 2 a.m. sort of time slots. Harsh on Lawson, yes, definitely, mate. Yep. You did predict it, and I did like listening to some of you, watching some of your videos on it. I think Liam Lawson was pretty hard done by, but they're just looking at securing the Constructors' Championship after losing it last year. So they've got a lot of work to do.
It's always a good track in Japan, so it should be some good racing.
Yeah, I think so. Matt, I haven't seen your predictions on who you think you're going to win, but I'm going to go with Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and Oscar for third is my predictions. I haven't seen your video yet, mate, but I'll go and check it out. See your predictions. What else have we got going on, fellas? Sports-wise this week? Nothing else?
It's pretty quiet. I know the ACA have released the schedule for next summer. So we've got the Ashes coming up. We've got India coming out for some one-dayers and South Africa coming out for some one-dayers. And they're really sending the games around Australia. 2 of the one-dayers against South Africa are going to be in Mackay and one's going to be up in Darwin, I think.
Yeah,
so they're really looking to expand, and they've sort of given the SCG a hard sell to say, hey, the SCG's tired. It's old. Yes, you've got the history and the character of the place there, but other places are coming forward. So pull your finger out. Otherwise, you may not, because SCG, I think, has got one-dayer, a T20 and the test. That's about it for this summer.
Wow.
So that's unheard of.
So what's the difference between that and the MCG? Well, what are they doing different? You know what I mean?
Well, MCG can hold more. They can probably get better revenue. But, yeah, I don't know. Yes, they've done up the Bradman stand and all that. The Barongle's been fixed up. You've got the Victor Trumper, which is new. So I don't get it.
It's not like it's a bad place to go and watch cricket, is it?
It's a great spot. It's better than the MCG. You're closer. But I think that's just the way they're trying to sell it, to move games to other places, to give you Mackay, to give you, like, we went to the stadium up in Mackay, and it's great. Nothing against the women. It's great for a women's match where you might get about 10,000. But if you're playing South Africa in a one-dayer, you want a 40 to 50,000 seat stadium to let everyone in.
Yep.
Absolutely. I agree. And if that's the way they want to go, then take it away from a ground that only holds a couple of thousand. We have 15,000 people like at Hobart. That's not like it's a giant stadium, is it?
No,
what's its capacity? It's bugger all.
Yeah, Bellreeve's about 15, I think.
Yeah, so, why would you take it away from somewhere that you're going to earn more revenue with a greater populace of people too? Like people, a Sydney game's usually going to be pretty full. Maybe not sold out, but pretty full.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get heaps more than what you're going to get at Mackay.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I watched a couple of one-days this year there, and they were pretty empty. But it's something to do with the price they're charging to get in.
Yeah, it could be. In saying that, Davo, I do know that after the Ashes, the Gabba isn't going to be used for a while. They're shutting down the Gabba for the what is it, Commonwealth Games that's going to Brizzy, or the Olympics, or whatever the hell's going there.
The Olympics. Yeah, they're building a brand new stadium that will wipe out the Gabba. Gabba will be gone.
Yeah, so this year's going to be a big one. I know Ninja, myself, there's a few of us that are pretty keen actually to head up there and catch the Ashes up at the Gabba this year. Not having been to the Gabba before, might be a chance to do that. But could that be something that they're going to pull instead of playing games at the Gabba? Could they send them to Mackay?
Maybe.
Yeah, but I'm just waiting for the exorbitant. Of course, it's an Ashes. I'm waiting for the exorbitant ticket prices that Cricket Australia will throw on it.
Yeah, maybe. I went to the Boxing Day test a couple of years back. So we went to 2 or 3 days worth of, like day 1 to day 3. And it was only $45 a ticket, I think. $50 maybe. And we weren't in a horrible spot. We were still in the lower concourse. and we were like next to Bay 13, so it wasn't overly poorly priced. But in saying that, it is the MCG that can hold 100,000 people too.
Yeah, where tickets for Sydney start at around $90 for like some of the concourse seats. And if you're on Barongal sort of in the shade, you're looking on non-ashes, you're looking at 100. I think we looked for India last year. It's like $150 for one day. Now, I know if you spend that to go to a rock concert or something, but when you've been talking the cricket, your price is getting up there.
Yeah, mate, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Bit crazy.
Well, mate, actually, funny you mentioned
alcohol too.
Oh, mate, come to the Knights. Full strength alcohol now on the hill.
Surely that's back at the cricket. Is it all stadiums or?
I don't know. It's a trial in New South Wales. That's all I know. At certain stadiums, and it wasn't terribly priced either. So you can't complain. But you talk about stadium tickets. I happened today to be looking at tickets for MLB for later in the year when we were off to the States, and I looked at LA. We're going to stop over there and see family, and the Angels. So in August, late August, and you can see a series against Cincinnati Reds over the weekend. Tickets from $32 US, and they're not too bad. You're sort of 4 or 5 rows back along the third baseline. Pretty reasonable. Same time. 3 days earlier during the week, Cincinnati are playing the Dodgers. Not a thing under $75 for a ticket.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
The most expensive opening day as well. They had over LA, it was like $180 or something for the Cincinnati opening day ticket.
Insane.
Dodgers can pay that price for showing in all those because they will get the crowd and they can charge the people for it.
And you'd be
where
amazed
Pirate
at
Angels aren't going that well.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised too.
$32 tickets.
Yeah, but just the number of seats that are already unavailable. That's the other thing. So, like looking around the stadium for both as well. It wasn't just one or the other. There aren't that many available seats. So I don't know if there's something that trying to buy this far out. There's sections on hold or what. But I couldn't believe it that there's only a pretty select number of seats available.
Yep.
You're only talking like a few thousand seats that are available to purchase, and I'm like, how can that be? Even for the Angels, like they're not going to sell out against Cincinnati.
They would have had 30 wins by then, Randall. Maybe.
They're your prediction again, though, aren't they, Hudson?
Yeah, I predict them. Let's look at the table now. Let's stop that prediction right now.
They won in 10 today. It's all good.
They're on top, mate. They're on top. Along with Ninjas Cardinals. Yeah, I know when we went over, when we're in Vancouver, ice hockey tickets. Like we were at the very tippy top. From memory, I think it was about $60 or $70 a ticket there. And I could hardly see the game, but atmosphere was good right at the very top.
Didn't have your glasses.
Same thing, mate. It was. I didn't have my binoculars. More like it. It was the same thing. Everything was sold out in advance, and we sort of had only a couple of months to prepare that we're going over there. And yeah,
mate. Even last year, we went to the Cubs and we went to Wrigley Field and also to see a White Sox game. So we all know how piss poor White Sox were last year. So the Cubs game was ridiculous. Like I think it was about $80 a ticket, but we sat front row. The batter's eye in center field, straight to the right of the batter's eye. You've got a tiny little narrow section. We sat in we took up the first 4 rows of that. So we were front row in center right, unreal spot. It was ridiculous, the price. We went to the White Sox game. We paid $8 for a ticket,
Yeah.
but we were up in the top deck, but it was, just maybe, I don't know, a third of the way up the line from between home and third base. It was a great spot to watch, and that was against the Yankees when they were raking.
Yeah.
So yeah, $8 compared to $80 across
$8
town.
game, mate. You can still get that 1-1 game or a 24-2 torpedo bait game. So,
Mate, it was the game where Judge hit his 200th home run or whatever it was last year.
Yep.
200th home run, 300th home run, 200th. So
whatever.
it wasn't bad. I think it was the day after Soto hit his 3 bombs or something in the game. So,
Thanks, Fiona. Can sit on the lawn at the A's game for $30. Yeah, if Randall went to the A's game and sat on the lawn, someone would have to roll him off it, I reckon. You'd have plenty of dirty waters on the hill and
no way, mate.
pick him up at
The
the bottom.
999 challenge, eh?
Cool.
9 beers, 9 hot dogs over 9 innings.
See, opening day, Joey Chestnut in the crowd at Cincinnati, and they panned in on him and he had a hot dog sitting there and shoveled it down. And then blokes in the row next to him wanted a challenge, so it was just like straight down. I had to go on the baseball game and then go, I'm going to have to smash these 5 hot dogs down. Terrible.
Perfect.
Where's the room for beer? Anyway, what are you excited about MLB-wise, fellas? I know we had a MLB on earlier, but MLB's just kicked off. Maybe for your teams, I know I'm pretty excited for the Giants. They've had a cracking spring training and continued some good form with their pitching coming into the season. I think they're 3-1 or something like that. What about for you fellas? What are you excited about for the season so far?
For me, you probably already talked about it, but yeah, home runs. Offense for the Orioles. A couple of guys like Cedric Mullins. He had that big 30-30 year a couple of years back, and then he sort of struggled a little bit, and then all of a sudden, yeah, he's looking good this year. But Jackson Holiday, he's got himself a few hits already. He might look like he's finally going to actually make it. Really, really, actually do something. I don't know if you guys mentioned it before, but see the first cycle was hit today.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we did. Yeah, all right, good.
That was awesome.
James is now a Cubs fan. He's after going to the Cubs last year, he's jumped from the Braves to the Cubs.
I was into him about that, but then I realised that he went to the game, so I completely understand him going for them now. So, and his A's are 0-5. He's Braves are 0-5. So
that was his comment. You did ask that earlier on. You said when was the last time you saw him 0-4, and it was when they won the World Series, actually. So
I must have missed that one.
Yeah, it's under gameception, mate.
Just ask him when was the last time you had a chicken wing, Marvin?
Yeah, I'll have to check me out.
Well, I love today's game. Oh, yeah, no go.
Yeah.
Profar, 80 game suspension. So that was some performance-enhancing drug. Same. What was it? It was a masking drug that they found in his system.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez was done for the same thing.
Yeah. So
what about you,
James?
What are you excited about, Davo? Boston looked pretty good.
I just want to see some better pitching. I want to see some good pitching duels. Also, polar opposite today, the Cubs-A's game. There was one situation there. The A's had a position player pitching, and the Cubs sent up a pitcher.
It was the catcher. It was a catcher that pitched, struck out the pitcher.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like
what?
Yeah. Find that in one of your shorts, mate. But I think, team's doing well. But I just, forget the bloody torpedo thing, the home runs. old school pitcher, mate. I just want to see some good pitching battles. I don't care who's doing them.
I
Jordan
did watch
Hicks
the
today
I
to the
watched the
Giants.
Angels. I watched the Angels versus the Cardinals today. It went 10. That McCollus, man, he looked real good today, and it was a 3-3 game going back into the game. I think it was Tommy Edman. No, sorry, whoever didn't get traded to the Dodgers. He hit a bomb first at bat. He lead off home run in the first. Then there's a lead off home run in the second, and it was just like, oh, this is going to be all Cardinals. But pitching was really good. And then the guy that came in and closed in the 10th for the Angels, he was he's never played any minor league baseball.
Yeah, it's the guy signed last year and never
Yeah,
played.
so they signed him. Yeah, and he came in and closed it out for him. They had a 2-run lead coming into the bottom 10, but they gave up 1 run. But yeah, there was a bit more of a pitcher's duel, Davo, like you were saying, a bit more classic baseball that I thought was
But
quite good to watch.
Some of the pitchers have started well. Like Severino had a good first start for the A's. We talked about the A's last week, mate, how they should do well. So Severino pitched well. Old man Verlander did good 5 innings. Most of the sort of Dodgers, except the rookie, have done well. Sanchez threw 5 today, only gave up 1 for the Phillies. So want to see some good pitching.
What happened with Scherzer? Was there any? It was a lat, was it?
Was it from his thumb or from his toe? I read something.
It was his thumb. It was his thumb that affected his motion, which then his lat. He came out because of the lat muscle, which he's had for a little while apparently. So they just wanted to be cautious to say, mate, we want you for the year. But it was, the thumb issue was affecting him throwing.
Yeah, can't keep up. All right, talked about pitching, Davo, today. I watched Jordan Hicks for the Giants, who they've been saying that last year he shouldn't have started. He should be coming from the pen. Threw 6 innings, 1 hitter today. Was lights out. Fastball, slider, just on point the whole game.
He should be good this year. He had last year as a converted sort of reliever into a starter. Yep. Now he's built up. He had last year. He's had the whole off season to really sort of hone in on being a starter. So, I think should be good things for him.
Yeah, I think he threw 110 innings or something last year. It'd be great to see him get 150 innings sort of this year. But, time will tell. Local baseball, you blokes, I know, Randall, you went to the, what was it? The opening? Yeah, the launch. That's it.
Oh, there's been a couple. We had the NBA season launch 2 weeks ago, and we had our Toronto Tigers season launch on Friday night.
What?
No idea what he's saying, but anyway.
Hi, BJ.
Hey, buddy, how you going?
Good. We just were Charlie barked.
But Charlie barked, did he?
Yeah.
All right. Good night, buddy. I'll come and give you a kiss later.
Okay.
Yeah. How did the season launch go, mate? The Tigers season launch.
Yeah, it was good. There was something like 60 odd people there or something. So
yeah, nice.
Caught a little bit by surprise. It's only the second time we've done it. So yeah, there were heaps of juniors, mate. Like our juniors are going through the roof, as you've seen. So it's great. It was good. We sat around and had a lot of beverages once it was done, and dusty the next bit of Uno Mas and dusty the next day.
Very good. Excited for the season anyway, coming up. First home game. The Tigers taking on White Sox in first grade for us. I think Boomers take on Belmont. Who does that leave? Phoenix and who?
Phoenix. Phoenix will have the bye.
Oh, so there's a bye in first grade.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, it should be a good first round, mate. We'll be live streaming first grade on Sunday. If you can't get over to Waterboard for a chicken burger, it will be on Sports Rewind. We might leave it there for tonight, fellas. It's been an hour. Usually we don't get this far. We've obviously dribbled enough. Imagine if I had all the stuff pre-prepared, Davo.
Oh, jeez, mate.
Jeez. It'd be unreal, wouldn't it?
Would be organised. I did feel like Garth from Wayne's World when you've disappeared. Then I'm just sitting here and it's just on me. It's like, what do I do? So, just spun some dribble. But I did feel like Garth.
Continue.
I'm thirsty.
Oh,
Where's the tab?
All right, let's leave it there, fellas. Have a good week, and thanks everyone for tuning in on Facebook, X, and YouTube. All right, peace out.